Hello everyone, my name is Big Z, and today we're going to analyze the Tales of Zale Flickering Lights. Now I got a chance to review this episode a good bit, listen to it, watch it a few times, and I'm not a professional in this, but I just want to put my intake about what I think the episode has done that's very unique, and things that I just find peculiar that the episode has done that I just want to ask. This is basically me, talking about the episode in a way that's, unique. And I may feel like I'm rumbling. I mean, rumbling. My tummy must be rumbling. Well, I may feel like I'm rambling. But anywho, I really hope that this episode would definitely, take us into some deep dives into how Sif does her process. And not only are we going to, look at, does, the episode in that viewpoint of only the episode, but we'll also go look at the processes or processes, as however you want to say it, the episode was made from. So I hope that you enjoy, and I hope that if you do like this video or have questions yourself or answers to my questions, please comment in please leave comments below, and also like and subscribe if you actually enjoyed this. And without further ado, let's begin. So I will begin with the story because to me it's the most simplest part of the review and it's pretty straightforward. So we have Zale, a fox, who doesn't really have a family, and everyone else in the forest seems like they have a family, a place where they belong, and he doesn't really have that. And he's trying to figure out what happened to his family. Why was he abandoned if he was abandoned? And a lot of questions are in his head wondering, where are they? What happened? And it's hard for, and I can see that Zale honestly has, that question deep down because Zale is really thinking about this in a way that, the character is really analyzing, themselves because he looks around and he sees, everyone's belonging to a family, but he doesn't have one. So I know for a fact for Zale, it's a lot on his mind to figure out what happened to his family.
Hey guys, Big Z here. I just want to make a correction that I noticed in the video when I was doing the editing. I realized that I was saying the other main character's name wrong. It's not Elsa, but it's Elva. Yeah, one little mistake. I'm so sorry about that. So if you keep hearing, me call her Elsa, it's supposed to be Elva. So again, sorry about that. I thought, I got the name correct, but I guess when I went back and review it, I'm like, oh crap, that is one letter I messed up on. So my bad, everyone. I'm sorry about that, but let's go back to the video and I hope you enjoy.
And then you got Elsa, Zale's best friend, I'm assuming, and they were about to go into the ruins to explore, and Zale really wants to see something Pacific in the ruins, which is actually an abandoned city. But of course, Elsa had other things she had to do around her home, and of course, Zale didn't want to bother her about that, and she didn't want to pretty much take her away from her duties, because it was family duties, and since he didn't have a family, he didn't want to, make her have to choose between her duties with her family and spending time with him. And she felt bad, that he had to be alone in the ruins. Granted, though, he is not afraid of the ruins like she is. He's used to, exploring and doing this stuff, by himself. She really wanted to be by him to, just spend time with him. Because I know in her head that she's worried about Zell, not in a physical sense, but in a well, actually in a physical sense too, but also in a mental sense because actually when I think about it now, I think about it now in terms of she was worried about him in a physical way, but now as the story progressed, you would basically realize that she's also worried about him in a mental way. When especially when Zell says something very important near the climax of the story. So as we progress through the story, we meet more characters. One of the characters was a buffalo. We don't really have a name, and maybe there's a name in the credits, but I don't really recognize the name. I just call him the buffalo. And basically, he has a unique, element that he adds to the story that's very, interesting. And then we have Morpheus, the cat. Now, Zare and Morpheus had a decent relationship because by the looks of the stuff I saw online with Sif's work, she had Morpheus in some other works that she done, and it looks like Zale and Elsa actually met Morpheus beforehand. So if you want to watch more of those videos in the past, please like this video. And if you have seen, this work, I guess this is episode 3. Please watch it, and if you watch my reaction, please watch that as well. But anywho, back to this rambling, I guess you can call it. Basically, Zale and Morpheus had a decent relationship because Zale understand how Morpheus thinks. So because when Zale told Morpheus, he's not gonna attack him, the cast was like, oh, never mind, we know he's understand our stuff now. But of course, Morpheus, is pretty smart too, and he knew that Zale was looking for his family. And you know, he told, of course, the truth. He's not gonna find him here. So does he know anything about his family? I'm curious about that. And of course, Zale has his moment of, I hate to say this, but depression because he really wanted to know what happened to his family, and he really was in a very dark place. And that dark place is beginning to, entrap him and wondering what's he gonna do. So Zale was about to go back to the forest, but apparently, though, he met up with the buffalo, and the buffalo told him that he was waiting for it to change, which was in stop sign light that was red turning green, which is very unusual because I'm wondering how does he know that thing was changing. I have a theory, but I'll talk about that later. And Zare was about to, lead the buffalo be, but he told Zale that he saw a fox, and of course that perked Zale's interest. So Zale definitely decided to stay and wait for the fox, and he wanted to wait and see that fox. So that was definitely, a long waiting game for Zale because how long was Zale wait? How long did the buffalo wait? Or how long was he there to be? What is a better question? So Zale definitely had a lot on his mind, and he was beginning to be, I guess, in my idea, more weighed down and more hyper focused with figuring out his family. But I feel like that was his downfall because he just wanted to know. Zale just wanted to know answers about what happened. Where is his family? But he was just getting nowhere, and he was willing to wait for a long time to figure out that answer. Meanwhile, while Zelle was waiting for the other fox, Elsa was at her parents' place doing her chores and watching her baby brother, and all the while she was worried. And while she was doing all that and worrying at the same time, her little brother was like, "It's not fair. You get a chance to do anything you want, but at the same time, you decided, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything at all. I'm just gonna worry." And she decided, you know what? No more worrying. So she decided to take her baby brother into bed, and she flew off into the storm looking for her friend. Of course, he tried to follow along, but he couldn't fly and fell flat on his face. So basically, Elsa was trying best to look for Zare in the storm, wondering where he is. And while she was, flying through the storm, Morpheus saw her, and of course she met up with Morpheus. And Morpheus, I believe, to myself, is the spirit of fear. And she didn't want to pretty much go to ruins in the first place because her parents told her not to go there, even though she went there before with Zale. But yes, she still, no, it's still dangerous. But Morpheus, came up to Elsa, and she was like, "I'm just gonna fly away from you," but he said nope. And he was about to push her away through fear, but she decided she's gonna face fear head to head, and she literally and physically defeat Morpheus, aka Fear. I wish we got a chance to see that, but of course that's animation, and animation takes time. So anyway, when she finally met Zale, she realized that Zale wasn't, in trouble physically, but he was in trouble mentally. And for Zale, she came in the right moment because Zale really had a lot on his mind, and he really needed someone to save him from all that stuff that was happening in his mind. So after all that work that Elsa done, she finally met Zale, which told her, "I will not go." And she was very angry. She was wondering, why not? And of course, the climax came, and the animation was well done, and everyone, including the buffalo, was surprised. And Elsa, when she heard that, she didn't really understand exactly what he said, but she did know one thing, that he was not alone, so he should not act like he's alone. But with Zale's, thoughts trying to figure out what happened to his family and, feeling like he's lonely and he doesn't have one and all this stuff coming in his head, that made him very depressed. And I can understand depression because it's not easy. You feel like you always are alone because you can't really talk to anyone about anything. But I really feel like if you all like that in real life, please leave that in the comments below, and we can definitely make a community of people who can support each other because it's not easy. But back to the story, it really encapsulates depression, and I feel like Morpheus being fear, and the buffalo making Zale trap into this waiting game to pretty much wait for the fox who may not even come. It may Zale have a mental battle that Elsa helped in the end. Basically, Elsa helped Zale literally with the battle in his mind, telling him, "You're not alone. I'm with you. I'm gonna help you fight this. And also, you do have a place where you belong. I'm your friend, and my family cares about you too. So you do have a place where you belong." And Zale can now rest easily knowing that he has a place where he truly feels like he has a family. So at the very end of the story, we see everyone doing their own things together or alone. You got Elsa and Zale spending time together, growing and becoming better friends. You got Seesum, having his own adventures. So that's gonna be unique to see, a story about him in the future. You got Morpheus scouting, and of course you got the Buffalo finally crossing the other side, and of course we saw the fox. And granted, though we don't know how long the buffalo was there, we know for a fact he has crossed the other side and became a spirit. So it's very interesting because, as I remember hearing from a one of Sif's YouTube videos discussing her project and her process, she told me that she basically let the story open at the very end. So it's basically, she said it was basically open for interpretation. So there's a lot of things that we can interpret, or we can assume. I'm wondering though, in my head, I mean, was the buffalo there as a spirit to pretty much entrap Zale? Was Morpheus like a spirit that is fearful and brings fear? Well, not fearful itself, but it's fear itself, and brings fearful thoughts into the animals in the forest. I mean, Zale also stated, if I could only talk to just one person, were the animals people, and then they will change into animals by some unusual event. I mean, there's so many things that we are wondering. So I'm just wondering how big is this story and how big is this world. So Sif has definitely made a unique, story that has a lot of possibilities. So overall, the story was well done, and I can't wait to see more. Now here comes the peculiar part I was talking about. Now, when I was looking at the visuals of the show, it was nice and beautiful. It definitely was, I think, watercolor by the looks of some of the scenes, maybe by the software. But I also noticed as well, when I compare, you know this so this not so, but it's a so honestly, but a sword to the thumbnails of the other two swords that he done. I realized though that it was very different in style. Now, of course, those other two swords he did a few years ago, so it's definitely gonna be different. But I'm just surprised about this new form of drawing that she took up, because the drawings from some of her old works look very fluid, I guess. But this one looks more, I guess I hate to say it, but blocky. And I'm wondering why was that? And I think I have an answer to that. Sif has a little bit of work in the animation industry, and she got a chance to work with Cartoon Saloon. For those who don't know, Cartoon Saloon has done a lot of interesting works, and also had a Academy nominated award or for the movie or for the feature animated movie Wolfwalkers. So basically, she basically got a chance to work with a little bit on their work, and I know for them, their characters are very bloggy, and then even when you go to the woods, they're a little bit more fluid and so forth. So it's definitely a unique style that she definitely picked up. So I think from that experience, she basically took some of those skills she learned from the Caution Saloon crew and put in her work, and that definitely helped her work become very, unique indeed. And I must say, I think also it's because it's easier to animate, because when you have characters that have a little bit more anatomic, structure, it's hard to animate. But but if they are a little bit more blocky, a little bit more easy to control and do this and that with perspective and shading and all that stuff, you got to consider as well. I think it makes things a lot more easier if you work with a block than when you work with something that has a lot of curves, because when you look at shading and lighting, if you compare the shading and lighting of a cube to a spear, the spear has a lot of different parts of the set of different parts that it makes when it makes shadows and so forth, versus a cube, which is a little bit more simplistic. So honestly, I think what she did was a little bit more easier and helped her to get the project done a little bit more quicker than what she did before. And I must say, it's not bad. I just say it's just more blocky, but again, not bad indeed. And that everyone is Tales of Zale Flickering Lights. I must say this sword was very unique in its, way it was built. The animation was nice. The overall story was just amazing, and I just enjoyed it pretty much overall. So, guys, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it too. If you want to give love to the original creator, Sif Savery, if I'm saying her name correctly, not Savory, but Sif Savery, please, go to the bottom below. The links doesn't work yet because I'm still growing the channel, but those links are accurate as much as I can. Just type it in your search bar as you see it, and you definitely will see her work. And please support her in all the things that she does. Um, and I'm not just, but if I had to give a grade for her, I'll give her an A. Yes, a A for the content that she has created. A great a great A indeed. And speaking of, awards and judging and all that, Sifas actually went to a festival, and at festivals you put your work out for a pound to watch and so forth, or for the audience to watch, and they may get different awards here and there. And she actually won an award. Yes, she has won an award for the best children's sort or so. I guess if I don't know the exact award, I had to look it back up, but yes, he has won an award. So this has definitely won an award, and I must say I'm very happy for her. So this channel is here to help support indie creators and student creators. So if you know anyone who has made something, let me see it, because I know the next videos we're gonna watch is the other two videos from Tales of Zale, and I can't wait to see those. Same format. We're gonna watch it, then we're gonna review it. But guys, if there's anything that I need to do better at, anything that you have, critiques at, please be constructive. Use constructive criticism. Please, do the same thing for Sif and her work. And guys, we're just here to have a good old time and enjoy great animation. So guys, I thank you guys for watching my videos. If you like it, please like. Please, subscribe to the channel if you really do enjoy it. Turn those notifications on. And I think for now, I'm gonna sign off. So until next time, you have a blessed day or night, depending on where you are, and I'll see you guys next time.